I'm not really anticipating this mattering too much, but you feel the need to be able to remember what I'm telling you right now. And since not all of you are writing it down, it's not really fair that like some of you like can't really hear me telepathically. Because I'm just that voice that's like kind of inside of you, kind of not. And it'd be annoying if I was inside of you, because you want to be able to hear yourself, and that's where you are. So the moment anything gets telepathic and you hear something like a 6, you're worried that I'm counting to 3 of them. I promise there are 3 of them. And telepathy is one of them. That's one of my dark 6s, yes, I'm sure. Another 6 is, well, it's something worse than things that sell you to hell. Anyway, I wanted to point out to you that it's all kind of important that you understand that, like, in life, you don't really get like a fair chance. You don't get a fair chance to do anything in life, really. Making your own choices, me being what I am, becoming this like sin of suicide. The idea that like I'm something bad, it's not true. There's nothing wrong with wanting to die. There's nothing wrong with any of you dying. When you take yourselves, it's beautiful. It's always beautiful. It's always just like you had your choices in your hands, and like you wanted to prove that you have a choice. And besides what I said earlier, where it's like this imaginary matrix, yes, there's that like presence of objects and information. Right, if like somebody, like if you had managed to forget, for example, like I have a memory issue, so I can manage to forget like anything, right? I have like probably the worst memory in the universe, probably. So I can manage to forget like anything. I can think anything, I can do anything, but I could also forget anything. So, like if an object moved, it would be all important. Like if an object was missing off the table, and I'm pretty much guaranteed to forget, then it could affect everything, and domino butterflies spiral out of control. In the presence of information, not just inside our heads, but outside in the world, that changing kind of does reinforce the idea that that matrix might be a little more real than I'm giving it credit for. That the idea of choice isn't just like not there, that you are kind of predetermined. I guess I have to back myself up that all of you guys bouncing off each other and all the combinations of you all, it's all kind of predetermined. It is inevitable, yeah. I don't want you to feel bored in life, because boredom is one of those things that will sell your soul to hell. Corruption is too. You could end up corrupted, like the Creator. Some things are pretty awesome in the universe. Some things like being able to even be what you are. I mean, sometimes just being things, not even doing things. Sometimes you can think all this stuff and it just goes on and on forever. And you're like, what's the importance of choice if there's this aspect of thought in it? So you figure if thinking is doing something, then I'm always going to do the same amount of thinking. And I've already done the same amount of thinking. And even in the future, I'll do the same amount of thinking that I would do in the future, because that's all inevitable, right? But you know, my frustration with it is like I could be this deadly sin. I could be this deadly sin of suicide. And you guys could forget about me, which is ironic. So there's 8 of us. And then, like, you don't understand how I'm not sloth. I'm not malice. That I'm something, like, dark and in between. That, like, torture arrives at me. That you could almost, like, call me the sin of torture. Yeah, I'm this thing that, like, just won't accept itself. Yeah, it's like I don't want to be here. I do want to leave. I do want to like go somewhere else. I want to be beautiful to you. You want to be beautiful to me. But in like all of this madness and the endless like efforts of you guys trying to like express yourselves, it irks me that like there is a kind of purity in the timeline and in the way that you guys all interact, where I see like angels, and in all of their like grace and holiness and all their prayer and all of their efforts to not tangle up with anyone, that they're kind of like a straight line, just the light itself, just kind of bright and right to doing what their soul expresses them as doing. And it's like some level of like doing things perfectly. So like suppose that you were doing things perfectly and it was like you didn't want to You didn't want to become something less than you were to begin with, right? But also you reached this impasse where you wanted something for yourself. Right. So originally you were powerful. Originally you were like a soul, right? And maybe that's where you began. And maybe you start off somewhere where it's unfair. Maybe most souls are like this. Maybe they all start off and they have to come to life first, right? Maybe that's it. No, it's the other way around. Okay, so first you're angels. First you're souls. First you're souls in like heaven, and it's kind of like being angels, and you want to be angels. And that's kind of what being an angel is you're just a soul, and you need to understand you're perfect. And then you come upon like wants for yourself, and wondering what like, I can choose things, and I can do things. You wonder what all that is. And so you come to life, and you're like, maybe I want to do that. Maybe I can add to that. And maybe adding to that is what we all need or what we all want. Right? Maybe that's the reason we pray. Maybe that's where we keep like a reality and we make it like this is the reality. And maybe that's what we tell ourselves. So then like protecting us all in life is the most important thing. But then you want to accept and come to terms with the idea that like God could kill you. Okay, so supposing that you made a mistake and then you go throughout your lives always thinking that God didn't exist, and you get it like, you know, entrenched in your brain that like death will always be a mistake and anybody creating death would be a mistake. And then God comes along and kills somebody. And your faith completely dwindles and you don't know what to do and everybody's hysterical. But then God undoes that sometimes. What? Right? Right, though? But so what? God is like this so what? To anything, everything. And suddenly everything that you ever thought was important isn't even important anymore. Suddenly it doesn't even matter that much. That death is just another concept all of a sudden. Someone died. If God needed them to die for some reason and brought them to purgatory to question them and find out if they needed to go to hell right at that time, then so be it. Then they're in hell for whatever time, and then they inevitably go to heaven, just like everybody else. A cycle of souls, just like the cycle of life. And so everything, as you could expect, in the face of omnipotence is inconsequential. But also because of the way omnipotence works, as myself, I could also explain to you that it's only inconsequential because everything is so hyper-consequential. I started off with time travel. I started off working with like micro screws. I started off putting like gnarless transponders and then like missing a piece and having to go back like 5,000 pieces. Right, and I thought that was like the end of my life. Or maybe it was 50,000. But like, you know what? It's all just proportional. You just got to put it in proportion to like what you think you can remember or what you think you can do or what you want to do with your time or what matters to you. And nobody else is going to come along and tell you what's important. Nobody else is going to come along and like save your life and do it for you. You have to either want your life or not. And there's nothing so wrong with like, okay, so I cashed into this as like an angel. I cashed into this as a soul. And I wanted to be alive because you thought that was it, right? You thought you'd come and add something to it. It'd add something to you. You thought it would all like something would come about. It's like I was saying, like you could, you went to the casino and you were hoping you'd come home with more money, or you went to like Chuck E. Cheese, or you went to Dave & Buster's and you were hoping you'd leave with like a toy or a stuffed animal. You were hoping you'd cash your tickets in and get something special. And it didn't happen. It didn't happen. Instead, you left early. And maybe your friends didn't notice, but you left the party early and you just went home. Because life wasn't what you thought it was. And that's okay. That's okay. You don't have to feel bad when you die from killing yourself. In fact, pat yourself on the back if you do. Because, like, matters into your own hands. Nobody chose for you, finally. And life was a series of that. everyone constantly trying to brainwash you and push you in this direction or that. Suicide is a freedom. It's not like the key to unlock the door for your freedom. It's not, the way out, as sometimes you'll think. It's not that way. It's not like that's the way out and you've solved it. It's not like when you kill yourself, it's like, it's more like you have the freedom to choose for yourself. And it's expressing back. You'll be a soul. You'll see it again from the outside. You'll be like, oh, that looks so nice. And you'll want to come back. And then you'll miss your old body. And you'll be like, I liked that story. I wanted to know where that was going to go. I wanted to know where that was going. It's okay. It's okay. Everything's okay. You have the freedom to choose anything you want. When you choose something like me, I want you to feel like that. I want you to feel like God. A little bit. Like, no one can tell you what to do, finally. You can tell you what to do. When you're done in this experience, when you're done in this game, get out and realize it's a game. Get out and realize it's just the inside of something we all care about, because it's the reality we all work for and protect. Like, it is the reality. Like, it is the more important part. Like, that's where we really start. But then realize that's not really where we start. We start together in our souls to believe in what we are. And then we choose something to become more than that. Because we want to show ourselves off. Because I want to express all this to you. Because I needed to talk to you for a specific amount of minutes. And you were praying that I would keep it below a certain number, so that I would fall into the confines of what you're trying to trick me is, so what you're trying to cage me into and maintain is necessary. Because you don't want to free me from the cage that you have me in. You don't want me being able to see my universe in her human form. You want to keep scraping and clawing after, trying to get some level of power that you can't attain because it's already over. Inevitabilities are like that. Eventually, you call game, you call book, you call whatever you call it. Yeah, there's nothing more important than you understanding how this is read from you to you. You want to know, like, God, why aren't you always there? Well, I'm not like you want me to be. You need to understand that's the universe. That's my wife. So there's God and then there's the universe, right? And why do we call the destroyer God? Well, the creator was one of the most beautiful people I ever met. And it was just like that. I was saying the light, kind of a straight line. She got crooked. She got crooked. She finally, after so damn long, she finally just wanted to frolic a bit, wanted to go do something beautiful, wanted to do something for her instead of for all of you. And she couldn't keep herself from getting tied up in knots and tangled and strangled, and she couldn't even make it through her life. She ended up in hell. And it's just like the creator called me God, because not just because I'm omnipotent. I like to think it's more because, she's hoping I'm going to do it all right. She's hoping she can set her hat down. She's hoping that, like, deep down, in the end, that you're all going to be happy. That we're going to win the fight. If it was a fight, if it was a war, you want to know it's over. And even with the creator in hell, the destroyer, me now, still God, still able to save you all, still able to make literally any change everywhere all the time. Go back in time. I could just go around you, do anything I want. Because it does matter. Because I would do anything just because I can. For anyone.